Hi everyone, and welcome to topic 4B part 4, where we continue talking about taking the lead. I'm going to talk about not-for-profit organisations and about what's different about not-for-profits. In general, the fact that they're not for personal financial gain, that any profits are to be held in trust to carry out the owners of goals and objectives, and that point of owners is important because often sports organisations are effectively a trust. They're an organisation that's held in perpetuity for benefiting that particular sport. That's quite different to a commercial enterprise, and many organisations have the complication that the nation itself, or the people of our nation, feel that they've got a stake in them, particularly with rugby and netball, that they're actually something that's countrywide. Not-for-profits are there to serve the owners' interests, whoever those owners are, so that aspect of donors, members, employees, or society at large. And that's quite a lot more complicated than a publicly listed company, for example, where you can trade the shares. Not-for-profits don't necessarily try to maximise profits. What they're there to do is to run in a business-like manner, but also they're there to actually meet their own ends. Whatever the things that are written into their charter are what they're there to achieve, and it may be for the benefit of their sport. Just thinking through some not-for-profits I know, they're there to pursue their own particular area of interest within the community and to ensure that the values of their organisation are upheld in the community. Not-for-profit strategic planning is often not as good as it could be. In saying that, many of them are actually lifting their game these days, but it can be very, very hard to change the direction of a not-for-profit. Just thinking of a number of Rotary clubs around the world actually that have gone to the wall. They've died rather than change their methodology and try and get younger people involved. They've actually got too stuck in how they do things as opposed to what they do, and they've not been able to change. Not-for-profits are often staffed either solely or as a large percentage by volunteers, so actually getting all your volunteers aligned can be a challenge in itself. And that's something that many professional CEOs don't have to deal with. And then the last point is that most sports organisations are not-for-profits, so that actually complicates what you do far more than if you're in the business world, and you've also got to come back and rely on the emotional connection that people feel to the organisation and their passion for their sport. So let's have a look at a few specifics. Sports mainly made up of not-for-profits, so there's the national recreational organisations such as the recognised NROs. Let's have a look at what Spark have got on that. And here's the list of national sports organisations, which you can find on the Sport New Zealand website. As you can see, there's rather a lot of them. I won't scroll down the list, but you can see basically covers everything we could possibly need. As well, there's the regional sports trusts, which we'll go and have a look at as well. And again, there's a list of all the regional sports trusts. Very handy actually with all the email addresses which Sport New Zealand keep up to date. Very useful when you're trying to hold an event in any place other than your home. The one thing to remember is that these sports organisations face all the same issues as not-for-profits.